Thanks for logging on to MyFoxHurricane.com. So we've got these two areas that we've been watching for several days. This elongated area of low pressure sitting just to the north of, say, Puerto Rico. Chance that we could see maybe a subtropical system developing with this as we go through the next few days. And then down across the Caribbean, nothing really there yet. We do have some showers and some storms down there, but really what we're looking at is models really indicating that eventually an area of low pressure is going to try and form down in that area, and that could show some development as we really head into the weekend and into the first part of next week. So here's that first area that we've been talking about for a couple of days. And again, you really don't see much going on. We actually have some stronger wind shear, and you can see how it's just kind of pulling all this moisture up to the north. But as this continues to work its way to the north, the conditions are somewhat marginal that we could see something develop. So if we saw anything develop, it certainly does not look like it would be tropical. It would at best be a subtropical system. And as I show you the models, you'll really start to understand why coming up in just a second here. But as you look further down to the south, you see that cluster of storms and lower pressure expected to develop down across the Caribbean. But the one thing that you do notice is as you work your way through the central and eventually the western Caribbean, is at least as far as wind shear is concerned, conditions are certainly more favorable to see something developing down across the Caribbean as we head through the weekend. So here is the Fox model where we're looking at both of these areas down here. Maybe a little hint of an area of low pressure just to the north of South America. But notice as we go through time, you're not seeing a whole lot of development, very slow development. You're seeing some winds starting to pick up. And again, this is really looking more like a trough or an elongated area of low pressure, and some lower pressure starting to form down across the Caribbean as well. But notice what happens. You do start to see this system developing, but then it quickly looks like it merges into a front. So just doesn't look like it's going to develop those tropical characteristics. And again, lower pressure down across the Caribbean. Here's another way of looking at this. Again, same thing. Fox model here, where we're looking at the reflectivity, that simulated radar with this, along with the clouds and the pressure. And I've kind of highlighted both of these areas so you can kind of pick up on what we're talking about here. And notice as we go through time, here we are on Friday, and you're starting to see, again, lower pressure, but again, it's starting to already merge with that front, which is sitting just to the north, and just that general idea of a large area or broad area of low pressure down across the Caribbean. As we continue to step through time, again, you're seeing this is already merging with a frontal boundary. So if anything were to develop, it's really kind of a small window of anything to develop, and it really just doesn't have time to gain much in the way of any kind of tropical characteristics. And then you're seeing all this moisture starting to really gather down across the Caribbean, and then that will just continue to work its way onto the west. So you're seeing more signs that we could see something tropical develop down across the Caribbean as we head into the weekend. Notice this is by Sunday afternoon and into the first part of next week. So it's going to take some time, but we're really going to start to focus in on this area, I think, as we go through the next several days. And we'll keep you updated right here on MyFoxHurricane.com.